my computer. There we go.
Good.
So welcome everyone to the kickoff meeting for this year's, which is actually our 4th annual HackHPC at PEARC.
Yay.
21.
Oh, Linda. Yeah, we got it. We friends.
Oh my goodness. That's the thing I was going to run and do. And then we started talking about the live transcripts. So we'll have mine on here in a moment. But before I do, let me go ahead and stop the share. And I'll be your host. My name is Jimmy Powell, or Jamie. I'm actually part of the organizing committee. I work at the Texas Advanced Computing Center, which is a part of the University of Texas at Austin. And you're going to be meeting quite a few other people tonight as we go through. Now, our agenda for tonight. Normally, I like to have icebreakers during our hackathon. However, I have been informed by a few people that today has been a really long day for quite a few of you all. So we're going to be considerate of people's time, and we're going to, what we're going to do is we're actually going to push forward a little bit with our agenda, and we will, so that we can get to our mentor presentations and all that good stuff tonight. It's going to be a fun time. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday together, starting from scratch to assist you all and to see you all creating some amazing projects. And we're really excited about that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share and select my presentation. Make sure we have the sound on. And I am going to go ahead and make this full screen. Going to present mode. Here we go. So our agenda for tonight, we're going to have some introductions, just so that you can know the organizing committee and of course the mentors and helpers and things like that. We're going to go over our ethics and code of conduct. It's extremely important that we respect each other and all that good stuff. So we're going to have a little bit of information on that. We're going to go over the hackathon objectives and the deliverables and resources, as well as the judging criteria, which means there is a competition involved. We don't really push the competition as strongly, even though it's there, because this hackathon is really designed to help you to both gain skills and apply them. We don't want people so intensely focused on the competition that they miss actually being able to explore. So that's going to be interesting, but we're going to still give you some information about it. And there'll be some small competitions as well, including one tomorrow, which you might want to pay attention to on the schedule, which we will also show you to make sure everyone is good to go. Then we'll have our mentors actually present some of their project ideas. Each mentor will actually have 2 minutes, 2 hard minutes to present their project. And if you're interested in it, maybe jot yourself a quick little note about which project you like, because then we're going to form our teams. We're going to create a bunch of breakout rooms for the different projects. So you can select the breakout room. If there's a few too many people on a team or a few too few, we'll rebalance and get everything together. The important thing is that for those of you that have not been to any of the pre-training sessions, which those videos are on the site as well, please know that tonight's going to be just a little bit of chaos, just a little bit of controlled chaos. And that's the way it's supposed to feel. But I promise you, if you stick with us by the end of Monday, when you do your final projects, it will most definitely be worth it. So jumping into it, we have our organizing committee. Now I have beautiful pictures here of these wonderful people that I've grown to love and basically be a part of my family. But 2 of them I'm going to introduce, 3 of them I'm going to introduce myself, and then 2 others. And then we have 2 other members of the organizing committee that are here that I will let speak for themselves. So starting out, as far as in letting people speak for themselves, I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to ask the heart of our, or as I like to say, of our hackathon, Miss Amy Cannon. Amy Cannon from Omnibond. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, I'm Amy Cannon and I work for Omnibond and I help Jamie and Linda and Alex and everybody else with the hack every year. So if anybody has any questions, concerns, anything, please just feel free to text me and email me anytime during the hack. And afterwards, please stay in touch with us as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Amy. And Dr. Hayden, if you wouldn't mind, I called Doc my second mom because she is. I actually grew up around the block from her. I came through her programs at Elizabeth City State University, starting when I was in high school. I was in high school breaking her network.
Yes.
So I'd like to introduce the formidable Dr. Linda Hayden.
Yay. Hello, everybody. So glad to see you. Those faces that of people I know and those people I'm going to get to know during this hackathon. I want to welcome you. We have been working hard to try to make this as productive as possible for you and looking forward very much to seeing your products. I hope that you enjoy the experience. I'm here representing, he said Elizabeth City State University is where I'm on the faculty as emeritus, but I'm here representing the Science Gateway Community Institute, which is an NSF funded organization. And so we are very much concerned with developing workforce development talent for our next generation HPC and gateway users and developers as well. So, and we just see you as being part of the bunch. Welcome to the community. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Hayden. And after a quick wardrobe change, my name is Jimmy Powell. I am actually a part of the Texas Advanced Computing Center. I originally started at Elizabeth City State University, where I received my bachelor's in computer science, master's in applied mathematics, and somehow through life, I have ended up in this position. I'm currently a senior systems administrator and technical, let's try this one more time, a researcher at TAC as well. And I'm very fortunate to work with education and outreach, working with Dr. Hayden. I got to work with many students over the years, and I caught the bug, including one student that's actually here as a mentor. So you'll hear from her a little bit later. So having said that, the two that unfortunately are not here with us, and I'll go ahead and hit our share screen so that we can see them, are Mr. Boyd Wilson. Now, Boyd is actually also a part of Omnibond. He's been with us from the beginning, and he has been an amazing person to work with. He truly cares about students and has worked with many teams over the years. Unfortunately, due to other circumstances, he's unable to be here tonight, but hopefully he will be with us on Monday as a judge, and we're looking forward to seeing him here. And also, Mr. Alex Note. Now, Alex is like our crazy cousin that comes along with us. He's currently in Greece, although he is normally in Estonia, the University of Tartu. And we will be hearing from him tonight, but right now he's not on this call because it's 1 o'clock in the morning there. So he sent a video to actually participate along with us. And speaking of that, we're actually going to hear that video now as Alex actually presents both ethics and the code of conduct. So I'm going to stop the share here, and I'm going to open up the video that he created. Here we go. And it is Whoop, not that one, this one. There we go. And let me go ahead and share that screen. Make sure I share the sound so that you all aren't just looking at a blank screen. There we go. And I give you all Mr. Alex Nolt.
Hi, and thank you again for participating in the 2021 PEARC Hackathon. Our goal is for all of you to have a great time and to work on exciting projects with your team and your mentor. To make sure the hackathon will be an enjoyable experience for all, we developed a code of conduct. In the next few minutes, I will talk you through the most important points of the code. You can also find the complete version of the code on the hackathon website. The URL is depicted in this slide. We are an inclusive event that welcomes all people, no matter their age, gender, skin color, ethnicity, nationality, religion, or background. We are dedicated to provide a harassment-free environment to everybody, and we do not tolerate harassment in any form. We expect all hackathon participants, mentors, sponsors, partners, volunteers, and staff to comply with this code of conduct. The hackathon staff may take any action they deem appropriate if the code is violated. Potential actions include sanctions, expelling people from the hackathon, or contacting law enforcement. Harassment includes but is not limited to audio-video recording against reasonable consent, sustained disruption of talks or other events, inappropriate contact, and unwelcome sexual attention. Furthermore, sexual language and imagery is not appropriate at any time during the hackathon. If a situation ever makes you feel uncomfortable, if you witness someone being harassed, or if you are a victim of harassment yourself, please contact a member of the hackathon staff immediately. They are distinguishable by the organizer or mentor tag behind their name in Slack. You can also find their contact information at the bottom of the hackathon website. The URL is depicted here. You are of course more than welcome to take screenshots and pictures and share them during or after the hackathon. You should, however, be aware who and what might be visible in your picture and give people a reasonable chance to opt out. To be sure, just ask yourself if you would like someone taking a picture of you in that situation before taking a picture yourself. We hope that these rules help us all to have an enjoyable hackathon. Good luck.
All right. Thank you so much, Alex. Remember, we can talk about him while he's not here. That is perfectly acceptable. No, we'll actually be able to
Conduct.
He's wonderful. He's a lot of fun.
He is. He is. All right. So having said that, let me go ahead and switch back over to this, to the slide deck here. Slide deck, where are you? There you are. Come back to me, slide deck. All right. So some of our objectives here at the hackathon. We aim to harness the resources, skills, and knowledge of people that are behind this window. There we go. Found in the HPC community in an effort to provide applied exposure towards students from 2 to 4 year post-secondary educational institutions. In short, the hackathon will provide HPC and training while targeting problems that directly affect the participants. So let me say this in English and say it in my words. The hackathon is a time and a very unique event in which you, the participants, come in with just the skills that you have, the things that you've learned over the course of your life and over the course of your academic career. You meet with a mentor that just has a question, or a spark of an idea, and they give you that idea. And then you make it your own, and you decide that within these 4 days, what can I turn that idea into? And over the course of that time, you're able to apply the skills that you've already learned, and then also learn other skills from the people around you. And I promise you, by the end of it, you come out with a deeper knowledge of your skill sets, and you'll trust your skill sets a lot more as well. A lot of the teams end up aiming the direction towards data analysis, and that's perfectly fine. Other teams end up on the end of working with HPC technology and figuring out how to do different things, that's perfectly fine as well. A lot of the teams end up with some type of theme, be it in healthcare or on social concerns and things like that. That is wonderful as well. None of those ideas are wrong. What we will warn you of, and we've actually taken your mentors through training as well to help you with, is being able to scope that down into something that you can do with the time that you're allowed. Our first hackathon, just to tell you one story, there was a team that their goal was literally to save the world. In 2 days, not even 4, in 2 days, they wanted to save the world. At the end of 2 days, what they actually did was develop a dashboard that displayed some data. And that's fine. But I do want to let you know ahead of time, your mentors have gone through training to help you to scope some of those ideas down to make sure that you are able to really accomplish things as we go through. You're going to have an increased familiarity with data science. You're going to learn a greater appreciation for collaborative software engineering. And of course, you're going to have some fun developing professional communication skills, because we're going to have you present, just letting you know. Your deliverables and resources, just to make sure everyone here understands what we're expecting you to have by Monday at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central, 2 hours back, 3 p.m. Pacific, before the final presentations begin, are 1, a GitHub repository. Now, if you've never heard of a GitHub repository, we actually had a little bit of training on it earlier in our pre-training events on our main event site. Of course, you can take a look at that video to assist you, as well as your teammates can assist you. On that GitHub repository, we want your source code that you create with comments, because we need to know what that code was. And I promise you, in like a year, you're not going to know what's going on with that source code. A PDF of the presentation you create with pictures of your teammates and their names and your mentor. How you use HPC technology in the project should be in the presentation. And then finally, a readme.md file, so a markdown file that actually gives a project description. Now, you can go as crazy or as simple with that as possible as you wish. And of course, we have some examples in our past hack website if you'd like to get some ideas. Some of the resources that you're going to have available, you have both mentors and specialists. And you're going to see some pictures of them here in a minute. We have Slack available to you. The reason we use Slack, for those of you that have never used Slack, I know it's a little bit of a learning curve, but the reason we use the paid version of Slack is because you all can create ad hoc communication. You can have a channel that's just for your team, and then your team can have a group video chat so that you can operate it at any time you want to, as well as if you have the application installed on your phone, you have a way of communicating with each other without necessarily having your cell phone number or something like that. So we give you a little bit of space there. You will have access to Google Cloud. Now, some of you all are going to be deciding on what your projects are based upon what your mentor says. Our go-to Google Cloud professional here for this hackathon, I believe, is Rich. Is that going to be you, or is it going to be Josh, or is it going to be Mary that's going to take care of the projects, the Google Cloud projects?
All right, I think it's going to be me.
Okay, Rich. So Rich Assay, he's also going to be a mentor, but he will be the person that will be go-to. Now, he also did a wonderful presentation on Google Cloud as well as Cloud Cluster, and he even went through a sample project. That video is currently finally sitting on my desktop. There was some issues with us getting the download, and I'll be uploading that hopefully either tonight or tomorrow morning so that it'll be available on YouTube if you do want to review that. Cloudy Cluster. So Omnibond is one of our sponsors. They sponsored us for the last 4 years. They're actually providing all of the prize money. So the cash money that you all will be receiving in your PayPal accounts, hint, hint, you might need to get a PayPal account if you don't already have one, will actually, their product is actually called Cloudy Cluster, and what it allows you to do is to set up clusters using cloud products, in this case, using Google Cloud, almost at the click of a button. As a systems administrator, that it takes me upwards of weeks to correctly configure a high performance computing cluster. It is an absolutely mind-blowing product. So, and we may even have some time during the hackathon where we have an overview for it if needed. Some of the most commonly other common things used are Python programming language. Most of you, I know, are just getting outside of a coding camp, so I know your Python skills are ready to go. We have Jupyter Notebooks, which is an excellent tool that many scientists around the world use to prototype and then display their projects, Node.js and HTML. And of course, we also have many, many data sets, including some that we have archived for you on the HackHPC site. A little bit more general information. Teams, we recommend right around 4 to 5 students, no more than 5. 4 is the sweet spot from what we found. 1 primary mentor and 1 specialist. Our time, of course, the event's starting tonight, and it will be ending on Monday with final presentations. During that time, we will have a Viewer's Choice Award, which you have people vote. We'll have the videos available on YouTube so that they'll be streamed, as well as, of course, we'll have our Zoom connections as well, and we'll talk more about that later. Every day, we will have 2 check-ins, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So 1 check-in in the morning, 1 check-in in the afternoon. And those 2 events occur, and it looks like I actually put the central time up there, but we'll take a look at the schedule. So I will actually allow you to see those times on the schedule instead of saying the incorrect ones that are here. Some examples: data analysis of COVID-19, economic disparities and their effects on college participation, genomics, weather modeling, social justice, AI-based things, crowd status. There is a young lady here that started in one of our first hackathons that in our last hackathon was our first student mentor ever. And she had an AI project that blew our socks off. And we'll let you learn more about her in a little while. Public data management, graduation rates, broadband access, insurance versus public health resilience, just to give you a couple ideas. Judging criteria. Instead of me running my mouth, how about I let Alex run his? So let me go ahead and pop open that video for judging criteria. Here we go. So Alex, take it away.
At the end of the hackathon, each team is eligible to win one of the following 2 awards: a Judge's Choice Award and a Viewer's Choice Award. I want you to note, though, that there are no numbers in front of the awards. This is because one award is not more significant than the other. In fact, the prize you can win is exactly the same for both of the awards. It is important to note also that you cannot win them both. We don't want to create a situation where one team is running away with all the prizes and everyone else is disappointed. After all, this is supposed to be a fun event as well as a competitive one. So let me talk a little bit about how the different awards actually work. For the first one, the Judge's Choice Award, we have assembled a team of judges, and each of them can give a maximum of 100 points per team. They will assess your project based on 6 different criteria. The first criterion is the creativity of execution, or the wow effect. Here, the judges will look at your project and think about, okay, so is this a really creative solution to a problem? Is this a cool thing that the team built? Did the team come up with any new use cases, big opportunities, or surprises? So basically, when you look at the project, do you think like, wow, this was a really cool way of addressing this problem, or this was a really cool project that the team created? The second criterion is the UX, or the polish. Remember, we don't only want you to talk a lot and create some slides, but we actually want you to create some form of prototype that in the end you can use. So here the judges will look at how is the design and user experience of what you created. Is it easy to understand and easy to use? Did you put thought into the user experience? The third criterion is a little bit like the first one in that the judges will look at, is it actually technically impressive? So while the first one was more about the project idea and the thing that you built, here it's about what is under the hood. So how technically impressive was the hack that you created? Was the technical problem that you solved really difficult? And basically, did the technical side make the judges go, wow? The judges will not only look at the project that you worked on though. They will also look at, did you actually work well together? We don't want single people that just create the entire project by themselves and everyone else is just sitting in the corner watching them do stuff. No, we want to see actual teamwork. We want to see you come together as a group of people, bond as a team and create something cool together. The fifth criterion is the presentation. So at the end, we're going to want to see from you a functioning prototype and the judges will rank your presentation. How well did you do that? Number one, did you stay within the time limit? Jamie will talk about that a lot and it's really important that you stay within the time limit. So pay attention to that. And the second thing is, did you actually communicate your project and its values well? And the final criterion is whether or not you actually managed to do what you wanted to do. There are several points during the hackathon where we will ask you to present your project idea, where we will ask you to say, this is what we actually want to build. So at the end, the judges are going to look at, did you manage to do this? Did you actually manage to build what you promised to build? Did you achieve your goals as a team? Now let me come to the second award, which is the Viewer's Choice Award. And that is very much straightforward. At the end of the hackathon, there will be a presentation session, as I've said 500 times and as other people have said 500 times already. During that session, you will not only present your project to us, the organizers and mentors and the other teams, but also to other people that might want to watch the stream, like for example, your friends, your family, other community members, some of our sponsors, conference participants, basically everyone who is interested. During this presentation, we will share a link to a form where anyone who has the link can vote for their favorite team. And at the end, we will count the votes and the team with the most votes wins. Easy, right? So before I let you go, I just wanted to let you into a little secret though. This is overall the 7th hackathon that we as a group have done over the past 4 years, and most of the staff and the mentors have been with us for quite a long time. So if you want a good chance at winning, I would suggest that you listen to what the mentors and what the organizers have to say, because they've seen some stuff and know some things about, how this typically goes. So especially if this is your first hackathon, I would suggest really listen closely to them so that you have a good chance at, in the end, walking away with one of those prizes. Just saying, right? With that being said, the only thing that's left for me to say is good luck to you all, to every team, to everyone that is here, and most of all, have fun.
There's part of me that thinks I should have watched that ahead of time, but I'm glad I didn't. No, as you can tell, Alex is a great guy, and we appreciate his efforts, and we really do appreciate him sending those videos to us to make sure we have them. And he's right. Actually, there are quite a few people here that have either participated in one of the hackathons that we've put on before, or has been a mentor for one of the hackathons we put on before. So just for me, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to go ahead and hit gallery view because I want to see all of your faces. Those of you that have participated in one of our hackathons before, either as a mentor, a staff member, an organizer, or a student, would you please go to your reactions and put your hand up? So for those of you that have not, you may want to take a look at the participants window right now as it's lighting up. So we have quite a few people, as you see there, that have been with us before. And so this is just to let you know if you have questions or if there's ways that we can help you, seek us out. We're here. We're definitely here to assist you. All right. So one other thing I'd like you to do, so I'm about to go into the schedule. Mentors, if you wouldn't mind, inside of participants window, could you please add to the end of your name a little dash that says, and after it, that have it say mentor. Have it say mentor after your name. All right. And thank you so much for everyone that's returning. We really do appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and clear all feedback. There we go. So while the mentors are actually renaming themselves to ensure they have their name there, and I'm actually going to do that, I'm going to change mine right now so that I do exactly what I'm saying to do. And mine is going to say my name and then organizer. Sure, that looks right. All right. So now that we've seen the expectations, we've seen the how you're going to be judged, or the judging criteria, or judging rubric, if you want to call it that. We've also looked at what deliverables we want from you. Still, the most important thing that I need to add on here is when and where are you supposed to be at when and what times? So why don't we take a look at the schedule? So I'm going to go ahead and hit share screen again and go to my hackathon window. Make sure I'm on the right one, because that would be fun. All right, so I did this one back here. That's fine. Even though I had a night, there we go. Okay, just make sure I have everything up. So the easy site to remember is hackhpc.org. That's HACKHPC.org. From here, you'll notice that it says HackHPC at PEARC, and many of you all have been to this site and you clicked on sign up here to register. But if you notice right above it, there's a link there that says HackHPC at PEARC21 Hack Hub, or over in the corner if you're on a computer with a web browser. If we go to that hub, go to that link, you're going to be brought to this page. This is your key page. This is the page that, let's close that out. There we go. That actually houses all the information for the hackathon. So what we found with virtual events, the largest issue is most people never know where they're supposed to be. And that's a problem. And so the way we combat that is we make sure that there's a single place that you can go to get all the information. And this is that place. Now, having said that, of course, we have our Slack channel where we'll post announcements and things like that. If you're not on Slack, your mentor will, of course, let us know so we can get you taken care of. But this is a centralized location you can go to see everything. So it lets us know who are the sponsors this year: Omnibon, Intel, Google, TAC, and SGCI, as well as Exceed, which it should be right here. I must have made a mistake there in my code that I need to fix. But as well as Exceed and PEARC. Excuse me. And so our schedule of events, there are pre-training, but as we go down, we have things here ready to go. Now, something I want to let everyone know. Now, outside of tonight, because we found out there was a little teeny tiny issue, like just small grain of sand issue this morning, that, that this particular link was off. But the rest of the calendar links, I'm looking at John as I'm saying this, are correct.
They are all correct, and everyone should have received it in your mailbox, if not twice.
Excellent. So if you didn't receive it in your email, if you go to Friday, we have add to calendar. And of course, you can click on it. It'll actually download the ICS that you can then add to your electronic calendar of choice to remind you when things are happening. For instance, tomorrow, our first check-in, which we're super excited about. It's happening at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We pushed it a little bit later because some of you all may be in class or doing other things, but 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, 8 Pacific, it is on and popping. And why do I say that? Because if you look under check-in, there's some stuff. Whenever you see stuff under a check-in, that means that there's going to be a competition. And in this case, y'all might want to write this down or make sure you're on this site. Wait. Let me get some videos on so I can look in your eyes. So some of y'all that you feel okay doing that, go ahead and turn on your video so I can look in your eyes. I'm gonna move you over here. I'm gonna look in your eyes. There's Lena, and John, and Mewing, and there we go. And no, that's not Andy. I thought Andy was looking at me, but that's actually his picture. That's messed up, Andy. And Pinakini. All right, Charles. Now I'm looking in your eyes. Jocelyn, and Parker. I see. And Andy. Andy, are you with us? Are you phasing?
Yeah.
Andy? We're worried about you, Andy. We're worried. Let me just, this is just for me. I shouldn't do this, but I am. See, this is why I'm concerned about Andy. Andy is phase shifting right now. There we go. There's Andy. All right, let me take that away. There we go. So, so now that Andy has shifted into our dimension, thank you for your time and consideration. We'll looking into you all's eyes. Tomorrow morning, there's going to be a competition. Now I'm in Central Time, so I'm going to say at 10 a.m. Central Time, I'm going to be expecting some things that you all are going to have to put together tonight. Now, you don't have to work on your project tonight, but what you do have to work on is what is in this box for tomorrow. And what that is once you all are in your teams, in your groups, you all are going to need to make a slide. One slide, just one slide. And on that one slide, it needs to have your team name, your team members, including the mentor, my personal favorite, your team theme song, which you all need to play as you're doing your presentation, and a joint team virtual background. And whoever has the best presentation / virtual background / team theme song, each team member will win $20 cash each. But Jamie, we're virtual. How are you going to get me cash? I'm going to send it to your PayPal. Now some of y'all won't understand what I'm about to say. Some of y'all will, but I'm going to say it this way. Jernetti, want me to do it? So yes, so we will send it to through PayPal in all seriousness. So tonight, your goal should be make one slide, one slide. Pick a team name. Put your team members' names on it and the mentor. Pick a theme song and create / distribute / make sure it works team virtual background. Everybody got it? All right. So that's tomorrow morning. That's tomorrow morning's check-in. Now, tomorrow we also have another thing going on. So our judges for the final presentation, they're actually going to have a pre-training session tomorrow. That's not for y'all. Let me make sure. Is there any of y'all that no, Dr. Hayden's going to be there. Actually, Dr. Hayden's going to be leading that session, and she's going to ensure that the judges are aware of what they're going to be doing, make sure all the forms are good to go. And so when they hit on Monday, they're going to sit down with a straight face and look you in the eye like they're buying a new car and go, No, our judges are actually, we're very careful and considerate with the judges that we pick. We want to make sure that even though they are paying attention, even though they give criticism sometimes, they're going to give constructive criticism to make things better. We're very careful. We're very selective with the people that we allow to speak with you all. So you're all going to hear me say this for the first time ever for this particular hackathon. We're family. Even though we're going to be in different groups, even though this is a little bit of a competition, the fact is we're family. We're here to help each other. So if Dr. Doswell's team has figured out something that Rich's team needs to use, somebody from Dr. Doswell's team may jump into Rich's team's group and give a little 5-minute overview of this is how I figured this out. Jocelyn's team figured out the AI thing inside of Google Cloud. There may be somebody from Chris's team that wants to do that as well. And so they may want to give a quick little presentation to them, or a quick little, hey, this is the link that I figured that out on. Here you go. And we do that because we're a family. All right. We love our family. We care for our family. So having said that, then we'll have a second check-in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Saturday, we'll have 2 more check-ins, just like we did on Friday, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Sunday, same deal, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. However, I will say a lot of times the check-in on Sunday afternoon ends up being canceled because you all are so deep into your work. And if that happens and the mentors come back and go, yo, leave us alone, we'll go, okay, see you Monday. But there is one thing that we're going to tell you on Sunday. I'm going to give it, the reason this says final presentation reminders is because you're going to hear me start saying something on Sunday. Make sure you pick someone to make sure all of your deliverables are taken care of. Pick someone to make sure that they're over the GitHub repository, somebody else that's in charge of the presentation, somebody else that makes sure that README file is good to go. And you're going to hear me say it over and over again. And then the last thing you're going to hear me say, practice. Make sure you've gone through your presentation at least 2 or 3 times. And the first time you go through your presentation, you shouldn't be done. You should go over your presentation for the first time, probably Sunday afternoon, Monday morning, to see where you are so that you can correct things so that you can go over it again. But we'll talk about that later. You'll hear that over and over again. The last thing I'm going to tell you for tonight, and that you're going to hear over and over again at these check-ins, it's going to be to take care of yourself. What I mean by that is we have these check-ins spread apart and early in the day so that your mentors know to give you time to sleep, to rest, and to eat. Now, some of y'all will go, duh, I'm going to do that anyway. But there are others of y'all that are going, whew, I thought we were going to have to be up till Monday. And the fact is, our first hackathon, just to say it, so that orange shirt that Dr. Hayden is wearing and Amy's wearing, we didn't know that. I slept on the floor on top of a power cord in my back in a hotel room, not in a hotel room, in a hotel conference area twice during our first hackathon. Our students were tired. I was tired. And the best thing about it was the chicken and waffles at 3 a.m. and the final presentations because we knew it was over. We don't want you to do that. So please take care of yourself. Some of your mentors are going to be more hands-on than others. Again, we've given them training to help them to be able to give you their beautiful baby that they're about to present to you here in a moment. But then that baby's yours and you have to change it the way you want to. It's not their baby anymore, it's your baby. Anyway.
Unless it's a real baby like Chris's.
Yes, yes. I mean,
I'm
I
probably
don't
gonna let you guys touch my baby anyway. So.
I'll take her.
Except Dr. Hayden.
I'm mad we can't see her anymore.
How old is the baby?
That's our future hackathon champ. I'm trying to turn her up.
I was like, bring the baby back. Don't
I'm
go.
so proud of you, Chris, because I totally thought you were going to be like, any one of y'all can come pick this up right now.
Oh no.
Bring it back, but you can have it for a while. And so then on Friday, like I said, we have our final team presentations and award ceremony. So we'll allow that. We'll open up the. It's coming. It is coming in my mind. I'm going to say it. The name of it is Viewer's Choice. There we go. The Viewer's Choice voting will open up on Monday, a little bit before the presentation, because we have videos like this. We're also going to try to record some of your early videos so that people can start taking a look at it and can vote a little bit early if they'd like to. Just to put out there one more time, since I'm right here, we do have our Twitter account that I will be using from time to time, the cccloud.hack, and our Slack channel. Again, if you are not a part of our Slack channel, please talk to your mentor to make sure that we can get you up there and going. All right. So I am enjoying I keep taking glances over at the chat, but I can't read it too much because I'll start laughing. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Ooh, my computer just transitioned to evening. I always love when it changes to colors. Y'all didn't see that. I did, but it was pretty to me. Anyway, let me go ahead and stop this share. No, yes, I do want to stop this share. And I'm going to switch back to my main slide deck. We're almost done with the slides. And by almost, I mean I have a grand total of 4 slides left with far fewer words, with a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words between all 4 of them. So let me go ahead and select that here. Where did it go? Where is it? There we go. All right. So now it's time for me to start shutting my trap and to allow you to meet some of our dynamic, amazing mentors. These mentors come from all over the country. What they're going to be doing is, and we are going to keep a time on this of 2 minutes per mentor, where that's a hard 2 minutes, mentors. We warned you to present their idea. Again, if you see an idea that you like, I suggest you write down at least two, because there are many of you here. There's about 20 plus of you here that are going to be participants. And so, and we don't want any more than 5 per group. So you want to make sure you have a primary project that you like and a secondary. Now, if there is a student or anyone else that does have a project idea, we'll be glad to let you present at the end. But please send a message in chat or on Slack to let us know that that's what you want to do, and take the time to quickly put together your slide. All right. So having said that, I am now going to hit escape. I am going to stop the share, and we're going to hand the floor over to our amazing mentors. Now, our mentors I'm going to allow you all to tell me to volunteer to present, and we will go from there. So do we have our first mentor that would like to give their presentation?
Ooh, I heard somebody beat me to it. Who was that?
Janetti.
Janetti beat.
Did Janetti beat us to it?
Wait,
Or
who
she
else
might have been
who else knew my name?
she might have been voluntold by someone.
Well, you know what, Janetti? I'll make it good for you. What I will do is I will introduce you in the best way I can. So while you get your slide ready to go.
It's already up.
It's already ready? Okay. So Janetti here was one of the first students I ever taught at Elizabeth City State University. She received her bachelor's at Elizabeth City, and then she went on to Indiana University and received her master's. And now she's working on her doctorate, if I'm correct. Is that correct, Janetti?
Second master's.
Working on her second master's. But the thing is, a little known secret about Janetti is that she is one of my favorite students I've ever had. And she's here with us to present her idea. So Janetti, the floor is yours.
It's a heart for you. Thank you. Okay. So,
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I feel like she did that on purpose.
and-
And here we leave. Okay, you're back now. There you
oh,
go.
I did. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Okay. we're good.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry. There's like a tornado trying to come in my backyard, so please forgive me. Anyway.
Dang.
I'm sorry, I'm cynical like that. Anyway, so my project idea deals with COVID and its adverse effect it had on mental health. A little background, I teach at Methodist University, and I had a lot of students go into quarantine. And some of them even admitted that they wanted to have suicidal thoughts or had anxiety attacks. And I feel like this isn't studied enough. So the idea for it is to do an analysis of the effects of COVID, particularly on mental health, doing maybe trend analysis or statistical analysis. One option is to focus on one state and focus on one mental health condition within that state. We can focus on demographics, we could focus on age, or we can do Google keyword search analysis of what are some of the mental health crises that people might be Googling about or something. It's very vague, it's very out there, but that's the point of it. I want students themselves to have a say about what it is that they want to study about mental health and to be more aware about their mental health because of this pandemic. So am I under 2 minutes?
You're there. Excellent. So thank you, Janetti. As you all are coming up, I'm actually creating breakout rooms. You can't see them yet because I haven't opened them, but her breakout room will be Janetti-COVID. Having said that, Pina Kinney, are you still with us? Pina Kinney, she's probably getting food. I bet you she's getting food. All right, so not a problem. Amy, if you wouldn't mind, do you have your phone close to you, Amy?
I do.
Can you keep a track of time? We don't want any more than 2 minutes. No more.
Okay.
At 2 minutes, you can yell, stop, stop it.
Okay.
All right, not a problem. All right, she's having some connection issues. Not a problem at all, Pina Kinney. All right, so up next, who wants to go?
All right, I will go.
All right, Charlie.
All right, share my screen here.
Now, Charlie is one of my coworkers, and also I had never co-taught with anyone before Charlie, and like the two of us have a blast when we teach. So if you're ever fortunate enough to take one of our programming courses, oh man, you just don't know what you're missing.
And on that, I'll be honest, students have actually asked us if Jamie and I like prepare a bit or not, or if that's just how we are. Honestly, that's just how we are. So,
Yeah.
All right, here's my project. Here's my pitch. So we're going to try and look at redistricting and how gerrymandering fits into that. A couple of cool things that popped out to me over recently was over half the Senate. Half of the Senate represents 41 million more people than the other half of the Senate. All right. But the majority control of the Supreme Court was appointed by senators that represent less than half of what the population is. Therefore, there's obviously something wrong with the way our voting districts are set up. So here's what the project scope up is. We are going to code up a simulation. We're going to simulate voters. We're going to district them, and we're going to find out what the ideal districting would be in our little simulated community. Then we're going to gerrymander it and see how does that affect voting, and can we create a community where the minority rules, kind of what we see right now. All right, so that is my task. That is going to be your task. We're going to code this in Python. You're going to have to look at some data sets to see how realistic of a simulation we're making. And of course, we're going to have to code up the simulation more than likely in Python and using objects and all that fun stuff. There's going to be a lot of coding involved, but there's also going to be a lot of application using real data sets from pick your favorite city. So, right, there's my pitch. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. 1:30.
Yeah,
Excellent.
great job.
So that is Charlie with redistricting. Now, I do want to put out there, Charlie said something really important. He said that there will be a lot of coding in there. Don't let that scare you off. This is one of those times that you can take a little bit of extra time to really hone your skills and with people that want to help you and support you. Why? Because we're family. We're here to help each other. So don't let Docker or Flash or Python scare you off. Take on that challenge. We're here to help you. All right. Do we have another volunteer?
Yeah, I can go.
All right. Chris. Now, Chris has actually been with us at a few other hackathons, including one of our last in-person hackathons. And his team, so I will forever remember Chris's team because I was sitting in the room and one of his team members came up to me and said, Jamie. He didn't say it that many times, but in my mind, that's how it worked. He went, Jamie. What do you know about assembly language? And a part of me died inside that day. And another part of me was like proud beyond measure. But between that and the fact that one of your team members downloaded, 300 viruses intentionally, was made for an interesting project. Anyway, having said that, I'll hand it over to Chris.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
All right, great. Yeah, so similar to what that time, my project is related to malware as well. It's called hierarchical clustering of malware data sets to identify malware families. So the idea essentially is to have a website where people can import a data set that is representative of malware, even some benign samples. And what the tool would do is essentially take that data set and store that into a database, and then pull that information and cluster that based off the different features that were in the data set, and then display them in a beautiful dendrograph or other clustering graphs. And so it's just being able to visualize some of the data that is out there. Sometimes in our research, there's a lot of numbers, right? We usually are looking at accuracy and those type of statistical analysis, and we don't get to see how beautiful our data could be. And so that's kind of the idea, is for visualizing some of our data.
Excellent. Excellent, Chris. Great timing too, 1:29. So again, if you are interested in malware and how they can be displayed on a web page and their interconnections in between them, Chris is your guy. All right. Do we have another volunteer?
Can I go next, Jamie?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. So now, Dr.
Okay, we actually have an extra.
Oh, great.
We actually have another mentor, James Belton, that wasn't included in the slides. So is it okay if he presents his idea instead of me?
Yes. Yes, it is. All right, so James, there he is.
Great, thank you. How's everyone? Let me bring up my slide here.
Now, Dr. Caldwell, just to let y'all know, I've known her since I was a wee lad from various ADME programs, which is something we can tell you about later. The big thing about Dr. Caldwell, as well as Dr. Hayden and things, is in the past, especially back when I was getting started in HPC, there was not a lot of, minorities. We would go to conferences, even conferences like PEARC and supercomputing, and you would note other people of color. And so Dr. Caldwell has been one of these people that's come along with us from the beginning. And I have so much, it gives me so much joy when I see her. So, because she reminds me of where we were, as well as where we are and where we're going. So I'm always glad to see Dr. Caldwell. So having said that, I'll turn it over.
And I'm always glad to see you because you're one of the smartest people I know.
No, that's all fake. I'm telling you. All right. So I'll hand it over.
Great. James Belton, Winston State University. So taking us back to the COVID thing for just a minute. So at this point in this pandemic, we know some areas of the population have been on board with the vaccine. And of course, there are some others that have not been on board with the vaccine. So I thought it might be interesting to look at vaccine hesitancy and how different races are taken aback by this whole idea of getting this COVID vaccine. Now that we're into this Delta variant, how do we want to look at, or how do we examine vaccine hesitancy among various races? So I want to crunch up some numbers, smush them together to look at how does the vaccine hesitancy trends, what are the trends among the races state by state, and provide some visualization, of the data and how the COVID vaccine and this hesitancy is looking in terms of race and state by state. So that's what I want to look at, crunch the numbers and see what we come up with.
Excellent. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
1 minute and 6 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. Efficient. I feel like, Doc, I need to write this down in notes for next time. We need to have a prize for the mentor that uses their time most efficiently. I feel like that should be a thing.
I'll win.
And we give them like a slinky, because it expands,
Yeah.
All right. Do we have another volunteer? Oh, here we go.
Yes, I'll go ahead. I'll take the next slot if it's okay with you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me share this one right quick. Yes, my name is Canampio. I'm from Winston-Salem State University. And I do have James and Dr. Carver as my colleagues. That's why I jumped in after James. Anyway, I wanted to look at if vaccination against COVID-19 is really effective, because we have this, the current thing right now is we have the vaccine going on, everybody's settled, but the question is we still have this, like James said, this skepticism. So what I wanted to see on this little piece here is if we could fight this skepticism by speaking guided by data and facts. So I was thinking, my idea is if we use, as my goal says here, is to explore correlation between COVID-19 vaccination and death rates in North Carolina. So if we could use, do some data analysis to do visualization using Jupyter Notebook, I was thinking we could maybe convince somebody, or at least see if there's a correlation between those two, and we could probably save a life of a skeptic out there. I don't know. So for those of you who are not very familiar with Jupyter Notebook, this is a chance. Python, this is your chance. We can use NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. You can even use SciPy to do some data analysis, some statistics. And hopefully we can come up with a picture that we can show somebody out there that this thing is for real, that vaccination and death, hopefully inversely proportional. We might be able to convince somebody. And that's it.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Dr. And I want to make sure I say this correctly, Dr. Kinalpanu.
I will let you do it, but you are very close, Jamie. You're the closest so far in the last 2 years. Dr. Caldwell?
Kanampu.
Dr. Oh, there's a smart guy here.
Kanampu.
Very good.
Kanampu.
Perfect. Kanampu.
Excellent. So Dr. Kanampu. So
Thank
we
you.
have, thank you so much for your time. All right. Do we have another volunteer? Oh, they're
Hi,
popping up.
Jimmy. I'm so
Yes.
sorry about the connection issues that I have right now. Elsa is here. So yeah, my Wi-Fi was down. I'm sorry. So my idea for today would be using natural language processing with understanding mental health. I came up with an application saying that natural language processing could be used for understanding mental health around COVID-19. So COVID-19 might have led to a lot of, increased rate of depression. There might be significant implications on people's mental health, and we could, develop natural language processing techniques to understand these changes, issues, and even come up with a recommendation system how to negate these. Basically, we can use natural language understanding and its subparts such as sentiment analysis, chatbot, semantic parsing, text summarization, recommendation systems for various different applications. So this was just one application that I pitched out. We can definitely work together at any suggestions that the team might have, or the participants might have. I'm most welcome to learning from them. So yeah, this was my suggestion, and we can definitely use Python, Jupyter, and a lot of various libraries that Python has for NLP. So that's my pitch.
Excellent. Thank you, Pinakini. Now, a minute and 4 seconds. A minute and 4 seconds. You're going to lead. Again, I know this isn't a thing. I'm just saying, Amy and Doc, like, we need to make this happen. So Pinakini is actually one of my coworkers at TAC. She's one of our new coworkers, and she worked with me, or I worked with her on a hackathon that they put on. So thank you so much for being here to assist. So up next, it looks like we have, now somebody's sharing. I feel like, oh, Rich. Now, Rich has also been with us from the beginning. Those of you that were fortunate enough to be able to see his presentation last week were able to see the love and care, and yet the depth of knowledge that Rich has. He always puts together one of the most visually stunning, and then one of the most interesting projects that we had. He actually did one last year on sex. It was sex slavery. What is it, Rich? It wasn't sex slavery. It was
Trafficking.
Human trafficking.
Sex trafficking. Thank you. I remember the reason I'm saying sex slavery is because I remember the graphics, and that's what like jumps out at me. So having said that, Rich is a part of Omnibond and has a deep knowledge of HPC technology, amongst other things, and a passion for helping those in the sex trafficking area. And now we're going to see what direction he goes this year. So, Rich.
Definitely a different direction, but thank you. And I jumped on sharing my slides so quickly that I don't actually have to say anything. This just says it all. So time's up. I'm done. And I win a Slinky.
No, Rich, that is not how that works.
Okay, just kidding. So I'd be really curious to know, we don't have time to take a poll right now, but I'd be curious to know if any of you students or others have heard of cryo-EM. Electron microscopy is what the EM stands for. And it looks like Lena is saying, yo, I'm there. So what you're seeing on screen here is these blurry black and white. There's an illustration, and then there's the actual imagery. This is really incredibly small. You can see that the carbon film over there is 80 nanometers, and then the dots are like imagery. So we're talking about some very, very small proteins and subcellular imagery. And the problem that happens is that they get these images, and these things are like moving. And so from those, they try to piece together actual models. And that's kind of what you see in the bottom corner of there and on the other side. So Blender is this really awesome rendering, animation, modeling system that is free, open source. And what I would like to do is try out using Cloudy Cluster to build a rendering farm to take cryo-EM raw imagery data sets and render it either into actual movies of the models as they've been photographed, or just render a bunch of really cool models. And then in the middle here is kind of an idea of putting a science gateway in front of that to help scientists be able to upload their data, run it on Cloudy Cluster. And
we're gonna have to call time.
That's it. I'm done.
That's
Yes.
it. 2 minutes done,
Bada bing.
but it sounds cool.
That looks really cool, Rich. Actually, Rich has pitched this before, but he got pulled into another project. So I really hope that there's some students out there that really want to get into the Blender project. Like so being an IT person, I love hardware. Like I do. You have software people, you have hardware people. I love hardware. But Blender and visualizations are something that I've always wanted to get into. So I really hope that there are a couple students out there that really want to take on that challenge. So again, that was Rich. And and his cryo EM, which now I'm going to have to look that up. Thanks, Rich. So I have to learn about that. So having said that, do we have another volunteer?
I can go.
Oh, one other thing while you're getting set up there, Caesar.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Rich is also our go-to person for our Google Cloud Platform credits. So mentors, if your project gets chosen, please contact Rich using Slack to let him know that you need your project set up for inside of Google so that you can have access to the credits. And again, Google's one of our sponsors. They generously donated these credits as they have for the past 4 years. And so, yeah. So having said that, Caesar, are you all set to go?
Yes, I am.
All
Hello, everybody. I'm Caesar Matsloot. I was actually participating last year, now mentor. Actually, Charlie Day was my mentor last year, but you know, we ended up doing pretty well. So got a bird fly out of the nest or whatever. So my proposal today is if you want to like pick someone in the group to do something, you can have you can draw straws. So it's a simple drawing straw simulator. It'll be on the internet. You can just pull it up. All you just to do is go on the site, pick how many straws you want, and then pull it out, and then see whoever gets the shortest straw wins or loses. Depends on what the situation is. It'll be a very front end heavy project. You'll be using probably HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And yeah, I think this is a very nice project to learn some front end and some web design experience. And it'll be great because you'll be able to deploy it and show it off to all your friends. That's it for me.
Caesar, first of all, 59 seconds.
Oh, snap.
59 seconds. Second of all, our second student mentor ever. Thank you. Third of all, if your group gets that working, I already have a use for that. One of the icebreakers I like doing with the groups is basically a game of chance. And so with your draw the straw, it kind of takes the place of a cut the rope type game. And so I can actually use it during the hackathon for icebreakers and then say it was designed in the hackathon. So I'm just putting it out there for people that are like, I can do that. So having said that, thank you so much, Caesar.
Thank you.
And we'd like our next volunteer. All right, so Lin Wei.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we will hand the floor over to you.
Okay. Can I share my screen now?
Oh yes, you were going. We saw it.
Oh,
we were
okay.
ready.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Jingwei Liu. So this project is related to workload analysis and the resource management in cloud and data centers. So as we know, resource wastage is an important problem in cloud and data centers. This slide shows us some examples of the resource wastage in real systems. So the left figure shows uses CPU as an example and shows that Amazon EC2 servers have low resource utilization. So as you can see, that the average resource CPU utilization is less than 20%. And the figure in the middle shows the low resource utilization in the production cluster and Twitter. Such resource wastage is not negligible in cloud and data centers, and it is important and necessary to improve the resource utilization in cloud and data centers. So in our project, so our goal is to analyze the data center workloads and identify performance bottlenecks for improving resource utilization in data centers or clouds. And also, we will develop a database management system for managing the data. So in this project, we will use some data center workload, such as Alibaba cluster trees. So the Alibaba cluster trees is a data center trees for VMs with batch workloads and the DAG information. The cluster trees V2018 includes about 4,000 machines in a period of 8 days with CPU and memory allocation. So I believe that this project can help us understand the bottlenecks of the system performance, such as resource utilization, and it can help to optimize the resource utilization. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Good job. So now, Jinwei, so during the competition, our second hackathon that we ever had, it was the first one at SC that Omnibond put on by themselves. So Amy, you started at SC, which is now turned into HPC in the city. That hackathon, and then the following hackathon, which was the PEARC21 hackathon, which is where we first met Jocelyn, are the 2 times that I've seen projects that have taken on this particular issue. The reason I'm saying that is because Jocelyn, who is probably about to present, hint, hint, started off as a student in that particular hackathon. She came through the Coding Institute. I think you had been outside of the Coding Institute for what, like a week or 2 weeks, something like that. So just like many of you all, and her team won that year. And she won, you all won judge's choice based on that project. So in explaining it, you all probably heard a lot of terms that you've never heard of. What it basically boils down to is you're going to get a CSV. So basically a file that has that information, and then you're going to be able to plot it. So I don't want you to get caught up in there are 2,000 machines, there's a cloud base, and you're going to have a data file that you're going to visualize. Does that sound about right, Jinwei?
Yes, we will build a database management system and store the data in the database, and then we will also implement some APIs. Sorry, I have a class now.
Oh no, not a problem.
So sorry, I need to join my class.
Not a problem. So thank you, Jinwei.
Thank you. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
All right. So that was Jinwei. And so up next, I already hinted at it, but I don't know if she's going to take me up on it. Who is our next volunteer? Oh, she gave me a thumbs up. So Jocelyn is actually going to be our next volunteer, our next student mentor. So she, like I said, she started 2019 as a student participant, just like coming out of the Coding Institute, just like you all did. And after that, she was able to, She came to actually a couple more hackathons. She won the first hackathon. I think she won the second one as well, or came close or something like that. And she joined us last year during HPC in the city as our first student mentor, and is back this year as our second time student mentor. And last year, her project, like I said, it was amazing. It was just amazing. So having said that, I will hand the floor over to Jocelyn.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Salgado, and my current project is called A Fruitful Future. Oopsies. So I have on the side my contact information. So what my project's based on is, oh wait, I think this is going, okay, there we go. It is on building like an online virtual application that helps you talk to financial advisors and get more financial goals and guidance and much more. When I was talking to my financial advisor about a few days ago, he was discussing to me that a lot of them are actually starting to transition more into Zoom and not actually conduct more of physical meetings. And that's something that I've realized throughout COVID, is that there's a lot of people who now realize that they can work from home and a much more comfortable state and actually get a lot more things done than having to go to an actual office or meet in any other location to conduct their work. So I believe like building some sort of network and being able to connect with them whenever, however, would be just an amazing idea for them. And the reason why it's just so important is that it's just, I feel like a lot of people that they don't know much about financials. It took me a long time to learn mainly financials, and because of it, I've been able to construct a lot of things. And I just feel like I'm just very passionate about it, because originally my major was environmental science, and now it's business marketing, and I'm trying to mix things that I love with things that I also love. So I just really hope that you guys end up picking up the project, and if not, I just hope that you end up just like looking into it more, because it is extremely important, especially to start while you were so young. But yes, that's my project idea. And at the end, I want to say a big thank you to Amy, Dr. Hayden, Jamie, Rick, and my old mentor, Aisha. I miss you so much. And I leave you all with a quote: "The only impossible journey is the only one you never begin," by Tony Robbins. So good luck, everybody. I'm so excited for you, and yay! I'll see you soon.
2 minutes on the button.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Jocelyn.
I love that.
Excellent. All right. So just to make sure, do we have anyone up? I see. I'm gonna try my best. Chidinma.
Yeah. So I have a question for Justin. Please, what applications will be used for this project?
That's an excellent question. I believe that whoever ends up picking up my project, well, we can end up discussing the applications used, because there's so many that we can use from, and ask more guidance from the advisors and mentors. So it's whatever you feel like. It's like me giving you, again, my baby. So yes, whatever you guys feel comfortable with doing, I will follow you. Thank you for your question.
Excellent, excellent. And we're so happy to have you back, Jocelyn. So I talked about Amy being the heart of our hackathons. If Amy is the heart, Jocelyn is one of the arteries.
I love that.
An amazing part, and we love having her here. So are there any other mentors or projects out there? I think we've hit them all. Did I miss any?
Well, I think it's pretty cool that there are like double the number of project ideas than the number of teams we're probably going to have.
Yes. Yes. So I'm going to give you, so first of all, I'm going to open the breakout rooms. And what you're going to see is that in the breakout rooms, they actually have the names of the people. They have the names of various projects. So of course, mentors, you need to go to the room that is your project. But what I want to tell everyone else is, whether someone brought you here or not, pick the project that you want to work on. there's no loyalty here as far as in who got you to the hackathon. So don't think you have to pick the person that brought you. Pick a project that speaks to you. So just to say all the projects again, and I'm gonna try to say it, and I am not gonna do in any way going to be able to do justice to what they spoke about, but Jernetti was our first mentor speaking on her project working on COVID and mental health connection. Charlie is speaking with redistricting and gerrymandering. Chris is actually working with malware and the interconnections between them. Dr. Caldwell, along with James Belton, will actually be working on a correlation with the COVID vaccine. Jamie, you can do this. You can do this, Jamie. It is Kanampu? No, I messed up.
Kanampu?
Poo. Oh, so I was called. Okay, so not Pew, it's Poo. Kanampu is also working on a vaccination correlation with COVID and deaths to of course help alleviate some disinformation. Pinakini is actually working on a natural language exploration as related to COVID. Rich is working on cryo-EM and Blender. So doing visualizations. Caesar is actually working on a web app called Draw Straws, which seems like a fun one. Jinwei is actually working on workload analysis for clustered systems. And then our last presenter, Jocelyn, will actually be working on a financials application. All right, so having said that, what we're going to do is I am going to put, I'm going to put 10 minutes on the board. And actually, I'm going to do a little bit more than that because I want you all to be able to explore and ask questions. I'm going to put 15 minutes on the board to allow you all to get settled, to ask some of the mentors questions and things, to jump around in the breakout rooms and things like that to allow you to get settled. Here in the main room, I'm just going to play a little bit of music so you can hop in and out and ask questions of we, the organizers, if you so choose. Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and hit pause on record and then allow you all to begin to form your teams. Now, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and we'll be back.